After the thundery weather, the sun spread its hot, powerful rays across the atmosphere, making everything look astonishing. The greenery was stunning, and the water dripping from the leaves and flower petals only added to the beauty. Elena, who was busy preparing coffee for Lily, entered the room and looked at her love, who was sleeping curled up under the warm blanket. She placed the cup of tea on the side table and walked toward the window. In one smooth motion, she slid the curtains open, letting the sunlight flood the room. As soon as the sun's rays fell on Lily's face, she made a grumpy expression and was about to pull the blanket over her head when Elena held the blanket and lay down beside her, turning sideways and resting her head on her hand. Lily opened her eyes with a jerk and looked at Elena with an annoyed face. Potassium hydroxide, what's your problem?" she said. After that, she tried to pull the blanket back, but her weak body gave up against Elena's strength. "Let me sleep, Yar," Lily mumbled irritably, covering her face with her palm. Elena shook her head, amused by her lazy girlfriend's antics, and said, "Have you even seen the time? It's already 11:00 a.m., babe. How much more do you want to sleep?" Saying that, she pulled the blanket away from Lily and held her by the shoulders. "Come on, get up now," she said, pushing her into a sitting position. Lily finally sat upright on the bed, rubbing her eyes to clear her vision. Suddenly, her gaze fell on the cup of coffee placed on the side table. "Ah, if you get coffee early in the morning, what more could you ask for?" she murmured, reaching out to pick up the cup. Just then, Elena lightly slapped her approaching hand and wagged her index finger, signaling no. Lily shot her a deadly glare and said with a pout, "What's your problem, you rude rabbit?" You're my problem. You're so lazy, Lily. Who even recruited you into the police? And who drinks coffee without brushing their teeth? Enough of this stubborn behavior now. Get up and go brush." As Elena's words reached Lily's ears, she made a puppy face and with a cute pout, mumbled while pointing at her feet. My legs are injured, right? How am I supposed to go there?" Suddenly, her expression changed into a mischievous smirk as she looked at Elena and continued. "If you're so bothered, rabbit, then bring the wash basin here. I'll brush then." Elena rolled her eyes at Lily's stubbornness and muttered under her breath, "Oh God, what nonsense." She stormed out of the room. Lily giggled and picked up the cup of coffee, about to take her first sip, when Elena suddenly returned with a wheelchair and announced, "Put that back." Startled by her sudden tone, Lily innocently placed the cup back where it was. Then Elena's expression softened into a pleasant smile. She positioned the wheelchair in front of Lily and said, "Please have a seat." With Elena's help, Lily obediently sat on the wheelchair as Elena pushed her toward the washroom. Lily muttered under her breath, "Huh, grumpy." "I heard that," Elena replied flatly. Lily raised her eyebrows and shot back. "Good, I'm glad you heard it, huh?" Elena didn't reply. She parked the wheelchair in front of the wash basin, put toothpaste on Lily's toothbrush, and handed it to her. "Here, brush." Lily again made a blackmailing pout and mumbled, "My hands are injured too, you know. You do it for me, potassium hydroxide, at least be useful for something." After saying that, Lily opened her mouth with her teeth pressed together and mumbled, "Hey." By then, Elena's patience had completely reached its limit, but what other choice did the poor evil queen have? She leaned forward and gently brushed Lily's teeth for her. After finishing the basic chores, Elena settled Lily near the shower. She filled a bucket with warm water and mixed in some antiseptic bath gel. Covering Lily's hair with a bath cap, she rolled up her sleeves and said, "Take off your bathrobe, Lily." Lily, who had been busy admiring Elena, smirked, deciding to irritate her rabbit even more. She crossed her arms over her shoulders and with a pout mumbled, "Oh my, what do you plan to do with me, evil queen? Please spare me, I'm just a helpless woman." Holding the loofah scrub, Elena dipped it into the bucket and looked up at Lily. Locking eyes with her, she replied, "With this helpless woman, I've already done everything. Now hurry up and take off the bathrobe before the water gets cold." A deep crimson blush spread across Lily's face at Elena's words. To hide it, she lowered her head, but unfortunately it didn't escape the queen's notice. Elena smiled at her love's shyness and slowly slipped the bathrobe down. She carefully cleaned her skin, making sure no water touched Lily's wounds, and gently wiped her entire body. You've hurt yourself so badly," Elena murmured with concern as she continued. Lily didn't reply. She simply kept gazing at the queen until she realized she was done freshening up and was being guided out of the restroom, wrapped once again in the bathrobe. So what would you like to wear, my majesty?" Elena asked as she moved toward the wardrobe. Lily placed her palm under her chin, thoughtfully scanning the clothes as she tried to decide. "Soldier, show me that hoodie," she said, pointing her index finger toward it. Elena, who had been leaning against the wardrobe for support, straightened up and replied with a poker face. "Who, me? And who else is here besides you?" Lily said, faking anger. "Ask me that again and I'll have you cemented into the wall." Elena giggled and replied, "And what exactly would you do?" Only to be met with a deadly glare from the demon queen. Sorry, your majesty. Let me show you your favorite outfit," Elena said, pulling out a hoodie and presenting it to Lily. No, it's not nice. Show me that one," Lily said, pointing at something else. Elena followed her command and showed her the desired outfit, but that was rejected too. This went on for nearly an hour, until the entire wardrobe had been dismissed and Lily finally declared, "You have such terrible taste. There isn't a single good outfit here, huh?" Elena ground her teeth, about to say something, when Lily looked at her intently and interrupted. "I know what I want to wear." Elena let out a breath of relief and replied, "Oh, finally. All right then, tell me quickly, what do you want to wear?" "That," Lily said, pointing at Elena's top. "What, this?" Elena murmured in shock, "but I'm already wearing it." "But now I want to wear it," Lily announced bossily. "Do you have a problem with that?" she asked boldly, glaring at Elena. Sweat beaded on Elena's forehead as the intensity in the room rose. She swallowed hard and, obediently shaking her head, replied in a flustered tone. "And no, I'll go change, and then you can wear this." "Change," Lily said, filing her nails casually. Then, in a commanding tone, she added, "Just remove the top right here and hand it to me. Right here." At her bold announcement, the evil queen was completely baffled. She stood there for a moment, trying to figure out what to do, when Lily spoke again, still focused on her nails. "Are you removing it, or do you want me to come there and remove it myself?" Elena swallowed hard. Without saying a word, she removed her top with her head bowed. A deep crimson blush spread across her face as she stood there in just her shoulder straps, fully aware of Lily's intense gaze on her. Avoiding eye contact, she handed over the top while Lily openly admired her bare waist. Hasn't something changed here?" Lily asked, scanning Elena slowly. "Changed what?" Elena murmured. She lifted her head for a split second, only to lower it again immediately after meeting Lily's piercing stare. Lily smirked and rolled her wheelchair out of the changing room. "Put something on, rabbit, or you'll catch a cold," she muttered while leaving. This woman has completely taken over me," Elena whispered to herself. After changing into a woolen zebra print crop top, she stepped outside. Lily, now dressed in Elena's top and velvet bottoms, looked at her and said, the rabbit is dressed like a zebra today. Anyway, go sit over there, with your legs stretched out," she ordered, pointing to the left side of the bed. "Until I finish my coffee." Elena simply nodded and settled onto the bed as instructed. Lily finished her coffee in one go and moved toward the bed. She slowly lay down, resting her head in Lily's lap, then pulled the blanket over both of their lower bodies. She was just about to drift off when her palm landed on Elena's midsection. Gently, she pressed her hand against her stomach and immediately sensed something different. Slowly, she slid the blanket aside and lifted Elena's crop top a little, peeking underneath. A deep crimson blush spread across Elena's face as she noticed Lily's strange behavior. In a flustered voice, she mumbled, What are you doing, Lily? Lily, busy examining her core, looked up at Elena with narrowed eyes and pointed at her stomach. What is this? Elena stared at her with a stern expression. What do you mean, what is this? It's my stomach, what else? It didn't used to be like this, Lily said, tapping her finger lightly against Elena's bare belly, sending goosebumps through her. Then how was it? Elena asked helplessly. It used to be strong and tight, Lily replied, still poking her stomach teasingly. Huh, it still is. Elena protested and pushed Lily's hand away. No, not at all, Lily said dramatically. Now it's all fluffy, like a football. I remember there used to be perfectly shaped abs here. Now it's just barren land. So what are you trying to say? Elena asked bluntly. That I've gotten fat. Lily raised an eyebrow. Ahan, and you're still asking. Can't you see it yourself? Why are you being so careless with your health, huh? Well, Elena hesitated, then explained. Mama has been visiting, and she makes such good food. I took a little break from working out, and before I knew it, the habit was gone. But I swear I'll start again. Don't worry. Lily simply nodded, listening quietly. Well, I'm just asking, Elena said in a hesitant tone, glancing at Lily, who was looking back at her, waiting for her to finish. After a brief pause, Elena continued. If someday I gain weight like this, or start looking different, would you stop liking me? There was pure innocence in her question. Lily could clearly see the fear in Elena's eyes. It might have seemed like a small concern to others, but for Elena it mattered deeply, and that alone melted Lily's heart. She immediately cupped Elena's face. No, absolutely not, Lily said gently. Never think like that. I love your soul, not this temporary body. Do you understand? I will love you immensely in every shade and every form. She placed a soft kiss on Elena's forehead. Elena held Lily's palm tightly and smiled softly. But that doesn't mean you eat endlessly and turn from a rabbit into a hippo, Lily added teasingly. Start going to the gym from tomorrow, or I'll beat you up. Elena immediately folded her hands dramatically and replied, As you command, my queen.